What's up, man?
How you doing?
Ready?
I'm all set.
Yeah. Make me sound good, okay?
Okay, show them what you got.
All right. See you on the other side.
Open up your ears. Open up your eyes. It's live from Showplace Studios. John Ginty.
Welcome to the Showplace.
Hi, welcome to Encore Chat. I'm here with John Ginty today, who's gotten some time out of his busy schedule. We are again at the Showplace Studios, and John, thank you so much for being here. And
My
you were
pleasure,
just,
man.
You were just telling me about how you did this transformation. So how'd you start?
Yeah, it was crazy. I started playing drums in high school and played in the jazz band, which was called Spectrum. And
Billy Cobham album.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And I got really good at it. I won a couple awards as like a jazz drummer and stuff my senior year. Won the Louis Armstrong Jazz Award, and so my senior year we started getting vibraphone charts, in with the pile of charts that would come in, and they would always get passed back to the drum section and kind of just chucked away, you know. And there's one day I said, like, you know, this was back when schools had music budgets. There was a big budget there, so I said, don't we have a set of vibes somewhere? And they said, yeah, they're up in the closet. I said, get those things out. Like, I can read a little bit. I've been taking theory classes and stuff. I feel like I could do this. And it was an important part in this one song called Coconut Champagne. I remember the song. And I learned the part. I spent a lot of time learning the part and killed it, and I loved it. And then I used to take a lot more vibe charts and play a lot more vibes and have the second guy play the kit. And one day I was like, man, I bet you I could play some piano because it's the same map,
Just
you
a
know?
little smaller.
Yeah, so I literally sat down and just played my vibe licks. You know, like, and you can almost play them like a vibe player,
Sure.
you know?
Sure.
So I sat down and started jamming my parts on a piano one day, and it was just love at first sight.
So how old were you when that happened?
I was a senior in high school, so I was just coming out of high school, and I really took keyboard seriously when I was 19. You know?
Did you? Perfect time to take anything seriously
Yeah,
because you have a
absolutely.
lot of
Yeah.
energy.
Yes.
Who did you study with, if you studied?
I didn't actually. I literally just took all the knowledge that I had learned in high school and in jazz and playing classical music and, you know, rock bands on the side, and I just applied it to a keyboard. And I was right at that crucial moment of, like, you know, go to college, don't go to college, get a job, figure this out, be a musician, I don't know. So I was right at that crucial moment, and I saw an ad for a Southern rock tribute band that needed a keyboard player. This
What band
band
was
called
it?
Rose Hill.
Okay.
So
What area of the country were you in?
I was living in Marshtown, New Jersey,
Okay.
and the band was out of South Jersey. So, you know, rather than hand in my college application, I answered this ad. And it at the time, it felt like, you know, it was either or. It was one choice or the other. So I picked that one, and I'm so glad I did because I joined this band, and the guitar player said to me, you know, if you're going to do this right, you need a Hammond organ because that's what all this music is. And
Were
that's
these
what-
guys older than you?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, they were, you know, 10, 15 years older than me.
That's huge.
So they really schooled me on what the music was all about. And this particular guitar player, Tom Feehan, he took me to a music store and we found a Hammond organ, a 72 Portabee with a Leslie, and we bought it for $800.
Okay,
And
sounds like a bargain.
And I paid
Was it?
I paid the band back through gigs over a year or something. Yeah, well, it was a huge bargain at the time for sure. And there you go,
What a great band.
Hammond organ. Yeah.
Taking the kid under the wing.
Oh, yeah,
that's
man.
that's what everybody.
I owe it all to them, man. And we used to rock it. We took it all the way from playing bars and little places to, you know, doing 800 at the wetlands on dead center nights, you know. So we took it really, really far as you can take, you know, a band that's playing other people's music. And, yeah, man, those guys schooled me. I'm forever in their debt.
That's
you know?
huge.
Yeah.
Now, I guess around that time, you probably started working because I know that my wife knew you from an organ store.
Oh, yeah, totally.
And the one thing that my wife said that John said is that he was going to make it, and he did.
I remember telling her that.
So
Snotty little kid I was.
it's all good. You made good on it. Jocko says
Yeah.
it ain't bragging if you can back it up.
Yeah, right. Well, at the time, you know, it was like I was out on my own, and it was the first time I was paying rent and car insurance, and I had all these bills and stuff, and I was playing in the band, and I was trying to do it, but I had to get some kind of day job going, and so I thought, you know, if I'm going to be an organist, then just everything organ is good, and it doesn't really
Makes
matter,
sense.
you know. So yeah, I was selling organs for a while, and I sold them too.
Well, because you could play. So
I sold
you
more than a
pump 'em.
couple of them. Yeah, I was actually kind of good at it.
And that demographic, so those are the World War II kids, so they have the disposable income.
Yes.
So, you know, and they
Absolutely.
understood
Yes.
talent. So they understood
Yes.
if you could play, it's like, hey, if you buy this one, you can play this. But anyway, besides that, I know that you got this gig with Jewel.
Yeah.
So is that something that kind of broke you into
Big break.
the big legs? Now, I've never had a chance to really ask anybody that question. What happened?
Legendary big break. I was living in a studio apartment in Morristown. It was all I could afford. And the phone rang one day. It was a Tuesday. And on the other end it said, please hold for Don Was. And I went, oh, my God, why is Don Was calling the apartment? So he said, hey, John, you know, I got your number from Jim Scott, and I'm doing this thing with Jewel, and we're doing MTV Unplugged and Saturday Night Live. And it's this Friday and Saturday. Can you do it? And I said, yeah, I would love to do that. That would be great. And I was real pro and real cool on the phone. He was like, okay, we're not going to rehearse, right? We're going to get the band together just one time. We're going to go over a couple little charts. I got a couple of arrangements of things I want to do, and we're going to go hit it. Got a great band. I said, okay, I'm in. So I ran to Scotty's record store in Morristown, literally ran, and bought her record and came home and learned 10 songs top to bottom for the next, 48 hours or whatever it was. And then went in, and yeah, it was a top-notch LA band. And originally they wanted Ben Montench from the Heartbreakers, and he was busy doing something. So Jim Scott, God bless him, is a producer I've worked with for a lot. I've done over 20 records with him. He threw my name in the hat, and I got the job. So we did MTV Unplugged, we did Saturday Night Live, which was a total trip. I mean, it was amazing to be there and to do that show. It was crazy.
Don Kirshner's Rock Country would have been the only thing that would have been better.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So I stepped right in it. My first thing was a huge thing. And then what was cool was we hit it off, and I kept the gig for almost 2 years and did a bunch of touring with her, and we did every TV show there is, Jay Leno and Rosie O'Donnell, and if there was a show, we went and did it. And a bunch of it we did just piano and vocal, because the song Foolish Games was out in a Batman movie, and it was a single at the time in 1997. She's on the cover of Time magazine. I mean, she was at the she was at the top.
She was phenomenal.
Yeah, she was at the top. So, yeah, she took me with her, and we went to a bunch of countries and a bunch of states and a bunch of shows, and, man, it was great. I loved working with her. What a great singer, and she's just awesome.
The one thing I know from speaking to a lot of musicians and from being a musician is that you do learn your craft on the bandstand. So since you didn't study, what do you think was the best thing you did to...
Well, I didn't study piano or organ, but without those 4 years of high school, as much music as I could possibly take, I would have never, ever gotten there. So, and I don't think that's necessarily available anymore. And if it is, it's in spotty places that still have money and still allocate the money towards the music programs. When I was in the marching band, there was hundreds of us. Yeah. That's not the case anymore. So, the popularity of the thing has gone down, and it's just because the budget has gone down. And if a cat like me sees a vibraphone chart and gets inspired, there needs to be a set of vibraphone there, or it's not going to happen, or the chart's going to get thrown out. And so I think that's really the case of what's happening. So, if there's a certain amount of schooling I think that needs to get done to just learn the basics. Mm-hmm. I could never do what I do as far as playing on other people's records if I didn't know the basics. Yeah, the language. Right. If I can't play in every single key, if I can't take a chart and read it, And I don't mean sight reading music necessarily, because I'm not that good at that, and it's not something I'm asked to do a lot. But I just mean basic charts.
Understand the language.
Yeah, just the basic, measures and counts and chords and keys and key signatures, and you got to be quick with that stuff. If somebody says it's in 3 and then E flat, count it off. You got to be ready to go.
Yep.
Not like, oh my God,
what's 3?
Yeah, I only play in 4 and in C. That's not going to do it, man. And I guess on the same note, like, the biggest thing that I learned when I got into the business and when I started making records and working with producers is you have to play in the pocket. I don't care. I'm not that great. I can't play that fast. I can't play 10-finger chords.
We feel what you're playing, though.
Classical and jazz, I can't understand it even, but I can play in the pocket, and I can just be the guy. A lot of times that, the right thing for a song is to just play the chords, to just play the changes, and to lock in with the rhythm section and to make it feel good.
Being in a Jimmy Buffett tribute band for 16 years has taught me that.
See, now that's what I'm talking about. Like, what people are looking for when they come see that is the song that they love,
that they heard
whichever
1,000
one it
times
is,
before.
whether it's Margaritaville or Cheeseburger or whatever. Like, people come to hear that material. They don't necessarily come to hear somebody,
Go crazy,
blow a
on an
huge
instrument, right?
solo and
Right.
play as fast as they can.
As a matter of fact, it's very little amount of players get to make a living doing that.
Dude, I've played on hundreds of records, and I don't think anybody's ever asked me, can you play really, really fast as many notes
Can you play
as
giant
can?
steps?
It's never happened,
Right,
Right.
right.
If anything, it's the other way.
It's always the other
It's
way.
like, hey, man, pick up a finger or two, You're taking up too much space. Play less.
And
Stop rushing the beat. Stop rushing the beat, everybody. You're all rushing the beat. Stop it. It's not good. We're all going into Pro Tools and we're pushing you back. I'm telling you, it's just you gotta find the backbeat. You gotta find 2 and 4. You gotta subdivide those things. That's my best advice to any musician. I don't care what instrument you play or if you're a singer, especially singers. If here's the beat, okay, this is ahead of it. This is no good. This is music that doesn't feel good. This is polkas and heavy metal and
It's stressful.
If you're into heavy metal, that's cool. This is where it is. But here's the beat, right? Everything that's on the back side of the beat, that's where all the money is. That's where you get paid. Is if you can find that little spot back behind the beat that's in the socket.
Because it feels good.
And if you find that thing, it's amazing. You make the snare drum sound better. You make
Everything.
everything. And vocalists too. Don't rush the beat. Way back, especially if you're singing blues and stuff. Listen to Greg Allman sing Allman Brothers songs. He's so late sometimes that it's like, how is he doing that? Oh my God! But that's where it is. That's where.
Well,
money
the
is.
interesting thing is the connectivity. So when you learn how to do something, you tend to want to do it quickly. So it's like anything you do. It's like, how fast can I do it? That's where we go.
Yeah.
And like you said, there's another place to be.
Oh man, there's a total, and that place is more fun.
Sure it is.
I like when I play my own shows and stuff. It's all about the B3 organ, and yeah, I play really fast, and that's something I can do, and I don't necessarily love to do it. People enjoy when I do it. They like to watch fireworks. And when I was in Robert Randolph and the Family Band, like that band was all fireworks. There was 3 guys, drums, bass, and pedal steel. And all 3 had their own fireworks show going on. So I walked into that just like, boop, just 2 notes, you know what I mean? Like somebody's got to glue this thing together. If I try to do what they're doing, it's just going to be a
free-for-all.
cacophony of notes, But in my thing, it's a lot of, I use 2 drummers and bass and, guest guitar players. And my guitar player, Mike, is a real rhythm player and just kind of does my job. So I could be flashy, and it's cool, and it's fun, and people enjoy it, because I'm an entertainer.
Right.
You can't.
You can't just sell the music. You have to go out there. You have to
Yeah.
sell yourself, too. I was fortunate enough to listen to some of the tracks you had just cut for this new record. Now, I'm sitting there, and I'm really enjoying it and not analyzing it, and then I go, my God, they're playing 2 chords forever, and it feels good, and I'm not bored.
Yeah.
I'm like, that was deep.
That's a good trick if you can do it. It's really, really hard to write a simple song.
Yeah, it is.
It's-
How do you feel about the internet and learning, and the internet as it pertains to your business, and you getting more business out of it or not?
I do, and it's I will call it a necessary evil,
Okay.
because I don't love it. I don't love having to sit behind a computer for a couple hours a day and have that be part of my job. But that's where we are. That's what it is. And if you don't do it, then you're missing out. You're missing sales. You're missing fans. you're missing that connection. Like we're kind of seeing this evolution. We're part of this thing that's happening right now. We're going to be part of the change. This will be the changing time. I don't know if I'll see it when it finally gets fixed on the other end, and people can like make a living being artists again. You know, because it's never been more difficult than it is right now to make a living as an artist. It's never been easier to create art, and that
that's the catch-22.
One has a lot to do with the other. I mean, I still come to the big room to make records, but a lot of people just sit in the room on the computer, and nowadays you can go from idea to finished product without leaving the room
in an hour.
Yeah, you burn the CD, you upload it to iTunes.
No,
boom.
don't even need to burn the CD.
You're a recording artist. Yeah, CD.
MP3.
CD's on its way out.
Right.
Now, So I don't know, man, but I know it's a necessary evil. So I get in there. I got the website. I got the Facebook. I do the updates. I do the things. I do like the connection that you get with fans. If somebody hears the record or buys the record, they can immediately hit me up and go, "Hey, man, this is badass," and I can go, "Hey, man, thanks so much," And
That's
so
huge.
that's pretty cool.
That's huge.
Yeah, I like that, and I like kind of being eye level with people, and they see what,
You are.
Yeah,
What's here.
the curtain's gone, man. Like people know what we're up to,
Sure.
Like it's not.
Oz no longer exists.
No, everybody knows that, like, I hump 1,000 pounds of gear into where I go to play it, and that I drive my truck, and that I book my own gigs, and that, it's hard work, man. And it takes,
because that's the work.
it takes everything you got, and then some,
Yeah, it does.
And yeah, sometimes you get lucky, and luck has a lot to do with it too, because there's a lot of talented cats out there, but sometimes you get lucky and you get a good gig, like a Jewel gig or something, and you can watch somebody, carry your gear for a couple months. And when that happens, man, believe me, it's just like, that's making it to me. That's the success, When,
I've
when
had that
somebody
for a
else
minute.
carries it
It's
in for a
huge.
minute,
You walk
isn't
in
it
and set
amazing?
up. You walk in
It's
and set up. It's like
Oh, no one will ever know how much that actually means
your
to me.
instrument's in tune and you just pick it up. It's like,
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
This is living, and all that stuff comes to an end. It's all temporary. And then next thing you know, you're back at the club trying to get some tickets sold and trying to sell a T-shirt and trying to sell a CD. And that's the reality of the situation. So the internet, I could take it or leave it really, but it's necessary. I got to do it.
can't, as Joe Bergamini said, you can't put the genie back in the bottle.
Yeah, that's right.
How do you feel about learning off of the internet?
Certainly, it's there. I'm a member at Music Notes, which is it's a great site that you can go to, and they have the legit chart for
Nice.
whattever song it is you
Okay.
want, and they'll have it in the published key,
Nice.
and you can slide around the published key if you want.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's been very helpful to me in a lot of situations
Okay.
where I'll tell you this one. This is kind of funny. I recently did a run with the Dixie Chicks. We
Nice,
went
nice.
to Europe, and Natalie wanted to do a cover of "Wrecking Ball" by Miley Cyrus.
okay.
Okay. It came out great, though. It was great. It was actually a great idea. When we finally put it on the stage, it was like, wow. As usual, she was right. That was amazing. People loved it. Howard Stern played it. It was great. So, as usual, Natalie was right on the mark. But the day that she said, I want to do this, we all kind of went, uh-oh. Well, I don't know the song. You don't know this. We never heard the song.
Right.
So I said, okay, hang on. Put it in. Got the chart. Got the official chart. What key do you want to put it in? She wanted to move the key. I moved the key on the chart and got the real deal right there for
It's huge.
everybody. So, that saved hours of looking into it and then transposing it, and maybe not hours. It's not that complicated, but
Time.
time.
Right.
But it was time. So
right.
that helps. I like that stuff.
I'm looking now at the 17-year-old John Ginty in 2015. What do you think he would have done? What do you think you would have done differently? Or if anything, do you think you would have gotten to the point you've gotten at? Because the one thing that you said to me that is huge is when you play music, you got to take your time with it. You just have to take your time. And now there's no time. They just took all that away from
Yeah,
us.
that is true. That is true.
Because the sitting here and doing the
Right?
until you get it,
Yeah.
until it's second nature. I don't
Yeah.
know if kids have time to sit.
Yeah, I don't know that they do.
And
know,
what do you think? How do you think your life would be different now?
You know, I mean, it's a great question. It's tough to say. I can't say that I'm 42 now. I can't say that I have any regrets about how I did it. I have some regrets about how I handled certain musical situations because it took a while for me to figure out that everything is its own unique situation, and it took me a while to figure out how to, be the guy, because
that's diplomacy right there.
and that changes all the time.
Yeah, it does,
All
because
the time.
there are crazy people in this business.
Yes.
They're
Yes.
just insanely crazy
Yes,
people.
and you got to read it, and you got to read it
Quickly.
quick, And if you can do that, then that's cool. So there's a couple of those situations that I'd love to have back, but I don't really have any regrets about how I did it. And the one thing that I knew early on, and the one thing that still holds true, and the one thing that I preach a lot, really, is that at the end of the day, it's 1,000 hours, man. I don't care what it is. Whatever it is, find something that makes you happy, and then you find a way to make money doing it. That's the key to happiness, right?
Yep.
So I don't care if you want to fly planes or play golf or be a banker or a musician or a painter or a dancer. Today's youth has a million different things going on. It's not like
No,
when
because
we were growing up.
yeah.
Because
I went in my room with the new frickin' Rush record and went,
that was it. Every day after school at home with the headphones on for hours.
yeah.
Every day.
That's why I had this nice ring.
What's that? No.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it takes that time. So it really, I think the standout musicians out of this next coming generation are going to be the ones that really find the dedication to it, and it just becomes the thing. It becomes all encompassing.
Right.
If you're an artist, your art will wake you up in the morning. It will keep you busy all day long, and it will keep you up at night worrying about what you're going to do with your art the next
We're
day.
just trying to solve that problem, right? Whatever problem it is.
Yeah,
Because
and
there's always a problem.
it used to sound romantic to me. Now it's knowing the reality of it. It's like,
Beat you down a bit.
man,
Beat you down a bit.
this is a rough choice. We picked a rough choice.
Impossible choice.
Yeah, an impossible choice, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah, we didn't choose it. It chose us. I don't have a choice. I would go batty if
In
I
our
wasn't
office.
doing this. And I toyed with not doing it for a little while some years ago. And my wife, Nicole, said, if you ever do that again, I'm going to kick your ass because you're a musician and you need to be a musician and nothing else works on you. So
From everything I've heard from you, yes, we need you to be a musician. Too.
well, that's great. I love that people dig what I'm doing. That's all you can hope for as an artist. You can only make your art as bravely as you can make it, and as honestly as you can make it, and hope that somebody digs it. And if they do, God bless. And if they don't,
exactly.
then it's for you.
Right.
And
that's all it is.
Yeah.
John, I got to wrap this up.
Yeah, man.
But
This
thank
was
you
a
so
pleasure.
much for taking the
My
time, man,
pleasure.
and much
Yeah, man.
success.
You too,
And,
man. I dig that you're doing the show. I dig it a lot.
Yeah, you know what? We have there's so many of us.
Yeah.
There's so many of us.
Yeah, and there's a lot of great stories out there, man.
And everyone is unique, and everyone is the same.
Yeah.
Which I love about the show.
Yeah,
but
man.
thank you for your time. Thanks for tuning in to Encore Chat. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for tuning in to Encore Chat. My name is Pete Schmeedhauser, and I own a small music store called Schmeeds Music, which is located in the Pine Plaza Shopping Center in Whippany, New Jersey. I just want to thank you all for watching, and I just want to stress how important it is to learn to play a musical instrument, no matter what it might be, and to really, really better yourself in learning. And I just want to thank you guys and everybody for taking the time to watch our shows, and stay tuned for more videos to come.